The story is told of a grandmother who one day took her 4-year-old granddaughter, Marcella, to the beach. And as they were walking along the beach, a great wave came up and grabbed Marcella and took her out to sea. And at that point, the grandmother got on her knees and she begged God, please bring back my granddaughter, Marcella, please. Then within a few minutes, a few seconds really, another great wave came in and deposited Marcella right at the feet of her grandmother. Her grandmother took one look at her. She looked up to heaven and shouted to God. She had a new head on, you know. I share this story because it ties in with the gospel. And that sometimes we focus on what is not important and overlook that which really is important. Mark's gospel has Jesus' distress that there was such a lack of faith in his hometown. Lack of faith means they were not connected with him, huh? They couldn't see what was really important. They focused on the fact that, well, wasn't he the little carpenter's son that grew up in this town? We all knew him. Who does he think he is now? They focused on that rather than the truth before their eyes. People were being healed, transformed, but they focused on how he could be the same one that they knew. When Mark says in his Gospels that the crowds were amazed, it's really a code word for saying that they just didn't get it. They didn't have the ability to see things as they were. They tended to see things as they were, not as they are. It takes a mutual connecting for healings to take place. And there was not any of this mutual connecting. And therefore, St. Mark tells us in this gospel that Jesus was able to do very few healings in his hometown. This brings up the issue of polarization, okay? Is there someone that we hold outside of relationship because of they don't belong to the same party, they don't support the same sports team? Not all things can be brought together, but on some issues, for instance, like sport teams, could we support both the Wolverines and the Buckeyes? Does it have to be either or? Can we perhaps listen to the sides of others or other points? Could we disagree without losing relationship with them? And this important question, can we imagine God unconditionally loving those people too? The question is, does our ego need to be right? Does that need diminish our greater need to be one in truth and love with each other? Does our tendencies to go for the brief sound bites rather than does all this diminish our ability and dull it to be able to recognize what is real and what is not real? Does it dull our diminishment and diminish our ability to do critical thinking and critical questioning so that we can learn what is true and what is not? It seems that Jesus' desire to hear and teach truth flew in the face of the crowd's desire to, well, not go against the other person. to rather fit in with the crowd. We ask ourselves, what truths are we not able to see in situations in places like the conflicts in Gaza and Ukraine and Somalia, and even in our own country? Do we judge those people in such a way that we are not able to see them as God sees them? Do we think, how could they be one with us if they speak a different language, they dress differently, they have different beliefs? Um, how could we be one? Could we truly disagree with someone and not lose relationship with them? Jesus' inability to perform many miracles because of their lack of being able to see Jesus as he really was. I wonder how that would compare with Jesus's looking at us today and seeing how we are so quick to polarize, to dismiss the other. Does Jesus have to go back to his hometown, to all of our hometowns for us to see this truth? Or is he doing that as we speak?